Welcome to the office of Prophet. This is Prophet in Messiah, and I've been preaching prophetic for Messiah generation. Today, I'll be dealing with the topic of kingdom. I'll be talking all about the diplomacy, prophetic diplomacy. It's the new term in the prophetics, and some of us may not understand the things I'm trying to tell you, but what we need to understand is this is something special, something mysterious, something secret. As we know, we do have the scriptures are assembled into 66 books, and these books are the Holy Scriptures. And when I studied the answers by asking questions, when I did research for understanding the holistic meaning for the kingdom diplomacy, I found there's some things, some information, some resources that hasn't been included into the 66, but also that is important. I say that book brought a lot more revelations about the diplomacy. That brought more and more information about the foreign affairs. Foreign is something, though it seems important, the having diplomatic deal is difficult. Having diplomatic deal with the foreign is, and the having diplomatic relationship with the alliance is different. With the children of God, with the warriors of kingdom, and we are supposed to introduce our stranger, and they are aliens to us, since they do have difference than we are doing today. I'm talking about all secret that hasn't been assembled into 66. Though the solo scripture could not address it, we can find it in the illustrations that has been the source of informations. Prophetically, it is the best form. And if we go with physically, you can get the holistic answers right there. But it concerns about the kingdom diplomacy. I'll be talking all about the kingdom diplomacy, what was wrong with men of God, with the children of evil. There was two forces growing up together in Eden Garden. Eden Garden, if we talk about the Eden Garden, there was two forces, positive forces and negative forces. God introduced several trees with the fruits. In the midst, there was the alien. There was a stranger who was supposed to be on, but he was the undercover agent. I address as him as a he, because he was with us. He knows about us. He has powerful diplomacy than we have. He has power to understand and interpret the scriptures than us. But he doesn't let us to be obedient to us, God. He does. So I'm talking a very tough and very much diplomatic thing. We are not supposed to harm them until the time comes. This is not the ending, though we make prayers. Bowl of prayers is gathered, and it is said to be poured over the hate in the end time, at the end time. But today isn't for destroying them. It isn't for destroying them. But it is important for we need to be aware about things. We need to be aware about the diplomatic things. How they bring possessions, how they are possessive to human being, how they scientifically prove themselves as the powerful one, how they sense messages to the children of God, how they interpret the things taking place around us. If we see scientifically, if somebody is in poverty, there's a lacking of jobs. This is the institutionalized. This is the institutionalized activities. So we never can interpret this. There's somebody with the giant structure. They have particular eyes, they have particular ears, but they are extraordinary. They are outstanding in the height. They are outstanding in complexions, in the color of skin. But they are not teaching us the right way, in the right manners. This is somebody has been said as a particular agent, as undercover agent. That was their foreign policy and diplomacy. We are addressed as a foreigner when they talk on the diplomacy. We are foreigner. We are Christians. We are somebody who never can be accepted by the society, since there is deviations about truth in the society. But here, children of God advocates about the single God, single existence of God, and the truth for them is all about the multiple truth. Truth is interpreted as a contextual. So they talk of pragmatic aspect rather than the theoretical basis. But the theoretical basis also have been dominated by the modernization. Today, where we are nursed, where we are schooled, given the kind of information as a basic education system, this is institutionalized scientific witchcraft. We are on this earth, but we are not of this earth. We are somebody who has been guided protected by the angelic bodies. We do have no place to hide our hate. You see, all the creatures, Jesus addresses like that. You see all the creatures, birds have their nests, and the wolves have their hole, but the man of God has no place for hiding the hate. That shows the important to be understood in the realm of spirit where we are moving today. We never understood the foreigners. We have been linking together. We have been yoking together. That's the institutionalized body. It has been institutionalized since the time when they have been addressed as a fallen angels. fallen angels, they were of particular habit, they were of particular light, they had the miracles, signs and wonders. They had special things with them. They were perfect in everything. They would explain it perfectly. Man had no better explanations to prove themselves as perfect in the world, but they had the perfect things. They were addressed as light angels. When the deviation came, when the system and the law and order is broken, when they rejected the law and commandment of the creators, when they proved themselves as a mightier and powerful as God, God gets them out from the glories. They are ruling over this earth. If we see in the book of Genesis, you can study about the word addressed like the Son of God. Son of God fall into the love with daughter of man, and the giants were born. So the giants started making the celebrations with the human beings. Giants started to bring offspring. Giants started to set undercover operations in the midst of people. They introduced life, this world. So they were addressing this world as their own property. See, when Jesus was tempted, he was driven to the mountain and saw all the temples and all the earthly glories. And Jesus was asked to bow head. Then he promised to give all this world on the hand of Jesus. That means when Adam in the Eden garden, when Adam, the first man, lose his authority, it was handed over the evil. So this is the foreign diplomacy we need to understand. So we need to understand the treaty. And the Lord said the message is in the Genesis chapter 3, verse number 15. I will put enmity between you and the son of the virgin. So the enmity is right there. That was the war. That was the prophetic war. Prophetically, God announced something not to be mingled, not to be collaborated with the foreigners, not to be collaborated with the alliance. God made the red man. God used mud to make man. God had special decorations. God has decorated in special complexions. That's the three races in the world: white complexions, and the red complexions, and a dark man. Those peoples are around us. But man created the red man. Red man providing all the authorities in the midst of garden, but it was restricted to not to be eaten. The fruit that bears the evil. Evil fruit, the tree that bears evil fruit was restricted. It was prohibited. It was banned not to be eaten. But the thing wasn't easier for the people, for they never listens of God, rather they listens of evil. Evil tempted in the form of serpent. That's the ordinary and the natural creatures. The temptation wasn't coming with extraordinary creatures, because this world with whole nature, it was totally natural. The temptation was natural. In the sense, devil tempted Adam in the form of serpent. The serpent was inside the heart of evil. Heart of serpent. Serpent was living in the midst of the garden, but inside the serpent there was evil, who is addressed as a he, who is addressed as an alien, who is addressed as a devil, who is addressed as a fallen angel, and who is addressed as a king of darkness. King of darkness brought the confusion, kind of delusion. They never believe on existing. They think everything in the natural way. They have been institutionalizing this world in the scientific fact, in the basis of scientific facts. People believe on science rather than the scriptures, because this thing is institutionalized. From the book of Enoch, if we study how they have been working in the midst of people, if we study all about the history, how they married with the daughters of men and give birth to the giants. Those giants were the undercover agents. You see, Goliath was the giant man with extraordinary body. He was an ordinary man, he was extraordinary. It would not be defeated until and unless there was the power under the grace of God. So David was able to kill Goliath in the presence of prophetic power that was existing in the form of stone. The smooth stones, small smooth stone were collected. That stone had special power. It had the prophetic power. In the forms of prophetic powers, evil was defeated. So we need to understand the things. We are not supposed to mingle with the aliens. We are not supposed to listen to the voices of aliens, since they bring confusion. They have been institutionalizing this world.